Welcome to Hero Villains. Who do you think would win in Legion vs. Mister Mxyzptlk Omega power clashing with a fifth-dimensional entity? Legion, whose real name is David Haller, is the son of Professor X in the Marvel Comics universe. He is an Omega-level mutant with psychic abilities far beyond ordinary limits. What makes Legion special lies not only in his power, but in the complex structure of his mind. Each personality within David's psyche represents a distinct ability, ranging from teleportation, matter manipulation, and time control to reality restructuring. When he loses control, Legion can rewrite history, create new timelines, and erase entire worlds from existence. Mister Mxyzptlk is an entity from the fifth dimension of DC Comics. He possesses nearly omnipotent power within three-dimensional space and can alter reality with a single thought. With his mischievous nature, Mister Mxyzptlk often treats the universe as a joke. He is not bound by the laws of physics or conventional logic. Mxyzptlk's power is more stable and deliberate, yet it is limited by special rules such as having to say his own name backward in order to be banished from the world. Before we dive deeper into the analysis, please press the subscribe button and remember to turn on notifications by clicking the bell icon. Thank you very much. In the world of mutants, there are names that make both heroes and villains wary. Legion is one of them. He is not only an Omega-level mutant, but also a symbol of power that surpasses all limits. What sets Legion apart is not merely the scale of his abilities, but the chaos within his own mind. Inside his head exist countless personalities that take turns controlling his body. Each personality carries a distinct power and a different, often extreme temperament, creating an almost limitless arsenal of abilities. Legion possesses thousands of powers, but the most terrifying remains his telepathy. Inheriting potential from his famous father, Professor X, he even surpasses him in raw output. If Xavier is a master of technique and control, Legion is more like a raging psychic storm, overwhelming others with sheer, devastating force. That superiority was proven the moment Legion personally cast Xavier out of his own mind. Within that chaotic inner world, he alone is the supreme ruler. And when thousands of personalities whisper together in the darkness, one cannot help but shudder and wonder. If they were ever to agree in a single moment, who would be powerful enough to stop this entity? Legion once silently entered the mind of Professor X without leaving even the slightest ripple of suspicion. Disguised beneath the mask of Magneto, he slipped through the most fortified layers of consciousness, deceiving the great telepath respected by the entire world. Legion began pulling the strings. Numerous mutants were controlled like mindless chess pieces, including Psylocke. But the true nightmare had only just begun when Fiend appeared, an entity bearing Xavier's form with a grotesque golden hue. He spread hatred throughout the psychosphere, turning the mental realm into a breeding ground of resentment and distrust. The wave of fury expanded, igniting global conflict and bringing even teams of superheroes to their knees in chaos. However, the power that truly makes Legion a terror lies in his ability to manipulate time through the personality known as Time Sync. With this authority, he can freeze a moment, pull an attack from the future into the present, or cast a present threat back into the past. In his hands, time is no longer an immutable law, but a current that can be bent at will. Styx allows him to steal souls with a single touch, turning victims into obedient instruments of his command. Endgame represents constant evolution, growing stronger with every assault and releasing tremendous energy in response. When necessary, Legion can even warp multi-dimensional space to halt explosions capable of erasing reality itself. Each personality is a separate fragment of hell, and when they merge into one, Legion is no longer an out-of-control mutant, but becomes a metaphysical storm. He does not merely attack the body or the mind, he restructures the very foundation of reality. Confronting him is like standing before an endless abyss. Within the labyrinth of Legion's personalities exists a special entity known as True Legion. She is not just a fragment within David's mind, but the embodiment of power itself. She can bend the structure of reality and manipulate time, often manifested through shifting between historical timelines as if turning the pages of a book. To her, the past and the future are merely markers that can be rearranged at will. That power was proven through a shocking act when she erased the Elder Gods of Limbo from existence. These entities were feared even by Hell Lords, to the extent that Magic, despite being in Limbo where she reaches the peak of her power and once defeated Dormammu, still could not oppose them. Yet, True Legion accomplished this as a cold declaration that limits do not exist for her. She is capable of putting an end to the entire universe, and Cyclops once confirmed that she had destroyed reality on a previous occasion. In another development, this personality was named Moira. She was born when Dr. Nemesis attempted to heal David's brain by removing his disordered personalities. David's mind reacted in its own way, creating a psychic antibody for self-defense, and Moira was the product of that mechanism. She rose into an all-encompassing power. Moira warped the entire Earth 616 universe, creating a separate space for Legion and the mutants, then locking the rest of reality inside an invisible box. She existed everywhere, seeping into every atom. Legion's power does not end with what has already been mentioned. His arsenal of abilities is far greater, stretching like a star-filled sky that has yet to be fully explored. However, what causes both awe and caution is not only his power, but the instability of his mind. Most of the time, the personalities constantly compete for control of the body, each voice seeking to become the one at the helm. Since his debut, he has repeatedly clashed with the X-Men, X-Factor, and the New Mutants. There have also been mutant villains who attempted to control Legion, such as the Shadow King. Fortunately for Legion, he possesses an innate defense against other X-Men telepaths. This internal conflict makes him vulnerable to exploitation, especially against opponents with superior telepathic abilities and enough cunning to slip into his mental fractures. To them, the chaos within Legion's mind is nothing less than an open door. Yet, when David achieves rare clarity and balance, everything changes completely. When the personalities no longer tear at one another but flow together as a unified current, he becomes nearly impossible to defeat. Over the years, David has worn countless identities. Some personalities were created by him, others formed through external influence, but together they make up the name Legion. I sincerely hope you will subscribe to the channel. It will help us greatly, and you are truly amazing. Thank you very much. Now let us talk about Mister Mxyzptlk. Mister Mxyzptlk exists on a higher layer of reality, originating from the 5th dimension. This dimension not only stands outside the conventional multiverse, but also surpasses metaphysical realms such as Limbo or the Monitor Sphere. If those planes of existence are already considered beyond all physical concepts, then the realm where Mxyzptlk was born stands one level higher still. With that foundation, his power is nearly without limit. Time and space in Mxyzptlk's hands are no different from pieces of soft clay. He can mold them, stretch them, reverse them, or erase them without encountering any obstacle. Granting life to inanimate objects, removing gravity, altering the forms of others, or teleporting are merely morning amusements. He once caused members of the Justice League to swap bodies in an instant simply for entertainment. In his eyes, the vast multiverse is nothing more than a toy resting on a table. He can lift it, spin it as he pleases, and casually erase it if he grows bored. Mxyzptlk's overwhelming dominance was demonstrated when he easily crushed Darkseid, an entity that makes countless worlds tremble. Even more remarkable, when the Joker deceived him and seized 99% of his power, that portion alone was enough for the Mad Clown to trouble Darkseid. What makes Mxyzptlk terrifying is not merely limitless strength, but his attitude toward everything. To him, the survival or destruction of the universe is just a joke that lasts a few minutes. When imagination becomes absolute authority and no boundaries remain to restrain it, reality turns into a personal stage for one who laughs amid the ruins. The clash between Mister Mxyzptlk and Batmite, another imp from the 5th dimension, was not simply a contest of strength. It was a moment when reality itself was torn apart. When two entities possessing power beyond all rules collide, the consequence is not ruined cities or shattered planets, but the disappearance of everything. In the literal sense, all existence was wiped away after that confrontation. Within that space, Mxyzptlk continued bending reality, demonstrating that his power is not confined within any familiar dimension. To him, the laws of three-dimensional existence are merely suggestions open to revision. He alters the laws of physics as one would change the rules of a game, breaks the fourth wall, and interacts with the very structure itself. Mxyzptlk does not depend on ordinary needs for survival. Air, water, or food are meaningless to him. Whether at the bottom of the ocean or in the vacuum of space, he exists as an idea that cannot be erased. When forced to say his name backward, he is sent back to the fifth dimension and all the effects he caused are immediately reversed, restoring the world to its original state. However, this is only a delay. After 90 days, the door between dimensions opens again, and Mxyzptlk can return to continue his amusement. Mr. Mxyzptlk stands almost at the highest position when considering raw potential power alone. He can accomplish feats that even cosmic entities regard with caution. Yet, the paradox lies in the fact that such power is restrained by his own personality. Mxyzptlk is inherently gullible and fond of mischief. It is precisely that blend of innocence and cunning that has allowed Superman and others to trick him many times into saying his name backward, thereby banishing him to the fifth dimension. Rather than pursuing ruthless destruction, he prefers to stage bizarre pranks, turning the world into a platform for his teasing performances. If forced to wreak havoc for too long, he quickly loses interest. That does not mean he is weak. Mxyzptlk once made the Earth and even the Spectre appear like toys placed upon a table. While the Spectre remained unharmed by Superman's full-force punch, Mxyzptlk could twist reality around beings of that magnitude as though rearranging miniature models. He manipulates cosmic perception at a level where he can imagine existence itself and make it real. Although his influence across the entire multiverse may not be as profound as figures such as Dr. Manhattan, Mxyzptlk seems limited only by his own imagination. Though often regarded as a prankster with nearly limitless power, Mr. Mxyzptlk has not been without defeat. There was a time when an unbound version of the Spectre overwhelmed him, defeated him, and imprisoned him within the source wall. It was a rare moment when the laughter of the fifth dimensional imp fell silent. Later, Superman Prime appeared and humiliated him, serving as a reminder that even one who bends reality can be forced into a disadvantaged position. However, the story does not end there. When the source wall was shattered, Mxyzptlk opened a gateway that allowed the Justice League to enter the sixth dimension. If he could accomplish that, then in theory there is no reason a being from the fifth dimension could not step into a higher plane of existence on his own. Yet, Mxyzptlk himself acknowledged a notable truth. In the sixth dimension, he cannot exist in the usual manner. That realm is not meant for those who thrive solely on imagination and amusement. Only entities such as Monitor, Anti-Monitor, World Forger, and Perpetua can maintain stable presence there at any given time. Most beings who reach that tier exist as fundamental principles of the universe, no longer bound by physical form or individual identity. Mxyzptlk may treat the multiverse as a toy and reshape reality with a thought, but there are still levels of existence beyond his reach. When confronted with entities that forge the very foundation of the cosmic structure, mischief and imagination alone are not enough. Mr. Mxyzptlk is one of the most powerful entities of the fifth dimension and resides there as a construct of imaginative thought. With 99.9% of Mxyzptlk's power, the Joker was able to reshape the Earth, the universe, and hell in his own image and surpass Highfather, Phantom Stranger, Zeus, Shazam, Ganthet, and Darkseid, followed by Hal Jordan as the Spectre, Dr. Fate, and Tachyon. He accomplished all of this with extreme ease, and it was implied that he could have done far more had he chosen to, yet he appeared not to care. Within Legion, he exists amid the storm of his own mind, an Omega-level mutant with thousands of personalities sharing a single body, struggling to retain control. Every whisper in his head is a soul, a will, a distinct power. Mr. Mxyzptlk, the mischievous entity from the fifth dimension, appears like a living joke. Drawn to the chaos radiating from Legion, he decides to turn it into his personal stage of entertainment. In an instant, peals of laughter echo. He calls Legion a madman of many personalities and declares the game has begun. Legion responds on instinct for survival. The personalities rise one by one. The Origamus folds space as if folding paper to evade incoming attacks. Jack Wayne summons Hellfire to burn away the Superman-shaped illusions that Mxyzptlk creates in mockery. Time Sync slows the flow of time, stretching each second so Legion can calculate amid the chaos. But his opponent does not obey rules. Mxyzptlk reverses gravity, turns time backward, transforms Legion into a wooden puppet, then bursts into laughter like a child toying with the universe. The battle escalates as Mxyzptlk duplicates himself into hundreds of tiny versions, each manifestation inventing its own bizarre trick. Reality is torn in two. One half is bright and exaggerated like a cartoon, the other is dark and distorted like a psychological nightmare. Inside Legion, the personalities begin to clash, fighting for control and nearly causing him to lose himself. Amid the turmoil, the Weaver emerges. This personality weaves a network of memories and predictive insight, allowing Legion to discern the weakness of the being from the fifth dimension. Instead of confronting him head-on, he chooses strategy. The delusionalist creates a refined illusion that convinces Mxyzptlk he is overwhelmingly victorious. Meanwhile, Reality Anchor ensures that Legion's core self is not erased when Mxyzptlk attempts to reduce him to non-existence. The decisive move is unleashed when Legion pulls Mxyzptlk into an internal illusion, trapping him within thousands of chaotic personalities. There, the game no longer belongs to the imp. A genius personality manipulates the very linguistic rules of the fifth dimension. Deceived by the illusion of triumph, in a moment of pride, Mxyzptlk accidentally pronounces his name backward. The sound resounds like a verdict. The entity from the fifth dimension is drawn back to where he belongs. Legion stands amid the ruins of a reality that has just been restored, exhausted but better able to control his personalities through experience. The winner is Legion. I hope you enjoyed this battle. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments section. Follow me if you like. That is today's video. Thank you very much.